Greetings on this day of the moon, um, Monday, and on the eve of um, or All Hallows Eve. And today, what I wanted to do is give a brief summary about what I think about magical shortcuts, because I'm seeing a lot of people trying to take a um, shortcut or a faster way to learn how to come into magic or start working with magic. From my experience, there just is no such thing. If you can actually learn it, embrace it, study it in a quick way, I applaud you. But there's no easy way, as far as my opinion goes, that you're going to learn quicker than what other practitioners who have been doing this for years have gone through. It's just not practical. It's just being lazy. It's just not wanting to do research. It's just, I want to dabble in this, but I don't want to take the time to learn the basics and the fundamentals. I think you would do yourself a disservice if you go that route, to skip over reading, skip over researching, and just have everybody hand everything to you. It's just not practical. You're not going to get the full experience of learning how to go about magic and get to a point where you're a master or an adept. You're not going to do that by constantly trying to get shortcuts, but constantly wanting someone to hold your hand, and it's just not practical, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. It took me a long time to get to the point where I'm at right now, where I can manifest things quickly. It took a long time. It took me a long time to learn how to work with the tarot quickly. It took a long time to learn how to work the tarot and work the spells in a quick way. It took a long time to learn how to read any tarot deck by downloading the information. So in a society, I've said this before, in the society that we're in and everything is quick, 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 I just do not think you're doing yourself any favors. You're doing yourself a disservice by not going through the process that other people have gone through. So, like I said, I'm seeing a lot of people look at occultists that have large followings now, and they look at a couple lectures, they'll read one or two books, and all of a sudden they got it all and they're masters, and I'm like, then they want to think that they know everything. I saw somebody recently say something about hell notes and how you're worshiping Chinese deities. I wanted to door pause the fuck out of that comment, and it's because I'm like, wait a minute. First of all practices, all magical practices come from people who look like me. That's first of all. Just because you're burning hell notes to your ancestors, your intent is the most important thing. So I saw that comment and got so aggravated. And this is somebody who comes from a revolutionary standpoint. And I'm like, somebody who comes from that background and comes from that perspective, to say something from an occult perspective, it shows that their thinking is limited. It is just not realistic to think that, let me say hi. Peace, y'all. Sorry about that. I forgot that there's a chat box up. To think that, you know, you're honoring somebody else's ancestors is just fucking ludicrous. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. Remember when I said before that an occultist is a scientist? It's because we study all the sciences. Any occultist worth their weight will study history, geometry, mathematics, science in general, alchemy. So if you're coming from one perspective and then try to talk from an occult perspective, that's just stupid. And I'm seeing so many people agree with this statement, and I'm like, don't none of y'all know what the fuck you're talking about, because all of this stuff, the alchemy, the magical practices, hoodoo, all of these are melanated people's sciences. We started first. It may be uncomfortable for non-melanated people to get that, but I don't really care. You know how offensive that is. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, you know, Facebook has allowed people to come and say whatever they want, and they look like they know what they're talking about. And a lot of times I'm saying that these people are not being properly trained. They're not self-initiating into any systems. By the way, those who are watching right now, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat session and I'll get right to them. And it's just, I think people who have a following are doing a disservice to other folks by acting like they're an authority on this stuff, and it's just not conducive to learning anything. Nobody wants to read, nobody wants to research. So let me see if I have any questions here. I'm not sure if I'm going to say this right, but Alafia, Goddess Lula Bell. I know that means like it's a greeting, you know, but I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Exactly, Tarnana. Exactly. It's not a race. You can take your time to learn magic, and you can take your time to learn the tarot. I took many years. I'm going on 9 years now on the tarot alone. 9 years. So, I mean, the Seals of Solomon, the Seals of Solomon, I've not worked with them, you know, exclusively, but the Seals of Solomon, from what I understand, is they're very powerful and they work really well. Again, your intent is the most important thing, and how to use and work with talismans by Israel Regardie. That's an excellent book. If you can read and study that book and use the Seals of Solomon, they'll work out perfectly for you. I believe a person should always be a student and a teacher, with student being first. That is absolutely correct. I'm always constantly learning. Someone just complimented me just yesterday. It kind of warmed my heart, and I was humbled by it. They said that they fuck with me because I'm always evolving, I'm always changing, I'm always willing to do shit. And that is absolutely correct. I have now over 900 PDFs. If I'm not working for clients, if I have a slow day when I don't have a lot of consultations or anything like that, I am reading, I am researching. I'm still working with my tarot decks. I'm working on just a lot of things, just mantras, new mantras, because there's thousands of those. So I mean, there's no one person that I know that knows every single mantra out there. That's impossible. I'm constantly got books all around my desk. If you can see my desk, it's a mess. I even go, this book right here, this book, you can't even get it anymore. I paid $200 for it. That's how dedicated I am to this magical career. Yes, ancient Mesopotamian potency incantations. $200 from the University of Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. I bought it from Amazon, and this is exactly what it says: potency incantations. This language that is in is a Sumerian, but they have English translations. So this is about potency, you know, sex. Sumerian is one of the oldest languages, one of the oldest magical systems. Forgive the silence. I'm reading Tamana. I hope I said it right. Tamana Ali Bay. I've not worked with the Orishas yet, but for the past 6 months or more, nothing but need have been hanging around me and landing them. They've also been in my bathroom and outside my home. Yeah, this is how I want to ask, how are you absolutely certain that the Orishas are hanging around you? What signs have they given you? And this book is called Texts from the Cuneiform Sources. Taziga, ancient Mesopotamian forget my typing, y'all. I'm trying to do this and read y'all questions that say incantations. Oshun tends to come to people, particularly women. She's a protector of women. Bees. Okay, yeah. Ishu is a trickster that I don't particularly like working with because he's a trickster. I'm a Virgo, and I don't like a whole bunch of tricky shit. I just don't. I don't like surprises. One time, I still cannot remember, but I know a friend of mine who worked with Ishu asked for a fine model type person to come to him and throw themselves at him. He went out one Friday night, and he got exactly what he wanted. Model type person coming to him aggressively. It was a man though. It looked like a woman. So I was like, nah, fuck that. I will work with Papa Legba. And I will work with Papa Legba before I work with Ishu. Ishu is like a little kid. This is when I explain to people about the ATRs. I say that the energy is similar, it's not the same. Ishu is a trickster like a kid, like Elehua in Santeria. Papa Legba is like a wise old uncle. He's going to give you tricks to teach you a lesson. Ishu is just going to trick you and laugh at you. So, oh, you're a Virgo too. That's what's up. That's what's up, Virgo Nation. Oshun and Ishu. Okay. All right. Well, that's got to be one hell of a combination there. Trickster energy and damn, love energy, love sexual energy. Shit. That would be like the Kimbanda combination of Exu and Pomegera in one of her manifestations. Pomegera, I would say Pomegera Reina, Queen Pomegera. But Pomegera is a legion. That's a whole different story. Bulk Creative. Um, how to use mantras in bees. Okay, this one I got years ago on Amazon. I'm an Amazon-aholic. Anything that I need, I can find. Mantras just take practice. They take practice. The more you do them, they're like a muscle. The more you use them, the better you become at them. I've been a lot of times I have suggested this particular book, little known book on mantras. It's over 400. It's called Mystical Formula. This is one of my favorite books. As you can see, I have it like specific mantras I've marked. So Mystical Formula, you can find this. It may be really expensive on Amazon now. I got it when it was like $25. But if you go to vedicbooks.com, VEDIC books.com, you can find it there for a low price. But I think Amazon now has it real expensive. Anything that's worth having is going to be expensive on there. Yeah, Oshun will show you, sometimes she will show astrally. That's a loving energy. I love Oshun. I don't work with her often, but the times that I have, it's just a loving energy. She's showing up astrally. This is why I tell people, you keep your journals because they will make sense. Yes, dollar store notebooks is what I use, and I got a lot of them. Write down your journeys, write down your dreams, or sometimes astral travel. The astral travels are different from dreams in that they will be very vivid. You'll see colors, you'll smell things, and if somebody comes to you and it's like Papa Legba came one time as my grandfather. Now he's a grandfatherly type, but he was in a jacuzzi smoking a cigar, and he had about a Hennessy next to him. And I'm like, once I thought about it, I'm like, wait a minute. My grandfather, my actual grandfather, never did those things. So it was like, I did divination, and it was like, okay, Papa Legba showing themselves up to you, saying, okay, you got to go ahead, ask for what you want, work with me, give offerings at a crossroads. You know, oh, no problem. No problem for the, thanks for the question. I mean, if y'all got more questions, just ask them. That's what this session is for. I realize that this is the middle of the day and people still might be at work, but, this is a really convenient time for me to do this session. Let me move this back just a little bit. Okay. And forgive me for having to squint on that because my sight is really fucked up right now. Yes, keeping a journal, because even if it doesn't make sense to you at the moment that you're having it, what's going to happen is, as you go through a couple days or whatever, sometimes you'll have an epiphany, and then you'll go back and you'll look at it and you'll be like, oh, that's what that meant. That's what happened when my grandfather, out of all people who's been deceased for years, decided to show up and just in a jacuzzi. It was, then I read, it was when I was first working with Papa Legba. Then I read about his characteristics and his attributes, the shit that he likes to do, and that was typical of him, just to have some, either, I think it was rum, it was a dark liquor, and he was smoking a cigar, sitting in a jacuzzi, just watching me. And I was like, Okay, what the hell was that? But since I've astral traveled for so long, I'll dwell on it for days until I get the right answer. So that happened years ago. Okay, listen. No, I'm not going to get tired. That's what the session is for. I realize I've never done a question and answer session. I've always doing videos and then I'll upload them. Usually because I'm just a little busy like that. So I have to make my videos and then upload them instead of doing a live session like now. I see this is beneficial to a lot of people where you get to actually ask your questions and get them answered right away. Feeling burdened to pray or chant? I think having a relationship with the divine is always going to be a good thing. I still pray, but it's not a prayer that, in a Christian concept. I still say certain things in the morning before I go to bed for protection of me and my family and my house. This is something that I do. You're not just speaking to divine energy in the universal mind. You're speaking to your higher self also. It's just you're speaking. You're saying things into existence. You're manifesting. So this is a buildup of energy where you are constantly and being in tune with the universal mind. And when I say the universal mind, I meant to explain this in my last video, that the mind is everywhere. That's why I say universal mind. They cannot determine where your particular mind is. It's not your brain. Your brain is a repository of the mind. The mind is everywhere. All you have to do is tap in. So I don't feel burdened by praying or chanting, but I do it as a daily practice. In order to live a magical life, you got to practice this every day. Just like a bodybuilder will train every day. This is part of training. Bobby Williams, are you doing any spiritual work tomorrow? I'm always doing spiritual work. Today, I've done work. I decided to do this live session to give myself a break. I'm always working with my altars. I got at least 6 honey jars that I'm working with right now that I'm doing every day. Yes. Usually, I decided to do something different this year, but usually what I do on Samhain, which is Halloween, what I do is I set out a feast for the ancestors. I put out candy, I put out rum, I put out cigars, cigarettes, matches, graveyard dust, and the spirit that I know are, ancestors and appreciate what I'm doing. I'll print out, or no, I usually draw out my sigils or draw out their seals. I place them all on one of my altars, one of my big altars, and I put out candles. I just usually honor our ancestors, known and unknown. I burn hell notes. I spray rum. I put rum in my mouth, spit it, then I'll blow cigar smoke. Hello, Nataru Hari. I hope I said it right. I hope I ain't fucked your name up. But I just my Anubis, what was that, 6 months ago? When learning tarot, learn first the basics of tarot. Let me give you an example. I can give you an example right now. The basics of tarot is learning what each suit is. Okay, this is all right. Bad example. Let me see. Centuria is, if I'm not mistaken, okay. All right, let's go with Santeria. Santeria Oshun, this to me would represent love, um, earth. Santeria is earth. Oshun is love, and she can be a warlike deity also. But I also look at the images. This is what the images speak to me. But it's the same thing with another favorite deck of mine is the Thoth tarot deck. Like knowing the Knight of Cups. Cups. Cups is water. I had to think for a second. Think water. Cups is water. The Knight, let's see. This is one of the most like one of the most complex decks, but okay, let me pull another card. This card is a major arcana card. It's the Chariot. This means a major, it could mean a major life event. Knowing the major arcana, knowing the minor arcana, that will give you a foundation in learning the tarot. When learning the tarot, though, always buy the books with the tarot decks. And ooh, shit. Sorry about that. Always buy the books with the tarot decks, but work with the books first until you get a handle on what the trumps mean, what the cups mean, what the swords mean. Learn how, air is representative of intuition. Fire is represented by swords. And learn the elements pretty much. Earth, air, fire, water. Earth, air, fire, water. So I mean, there's a couple different things to know in the tarot, but learn the books. Use the books. I'm sorry. Use the books first, and then go from there. Substitute for hell notes. Petition paper. You can use petition paper to write your own petitions, and then you can use that. But I don't know of a substitute. You can use real money, but I mean, use real money, but are you gonna want to burn your money? Don't. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I'm not gonna burn no $20 bills and shit. I was like, fuck that. Use petition paper. Write your own petition and say is known and unknown. That's the only. That's a good question because I never heard of a substitute in hell notes. Thank you, Goddess Lula Bell. I appreciate that. Thank you. I am humbled by that. Thank you. No problem. I didn't get that question. No, actually, I don't get that. Bobby Williams. I don't get that question a lot. It's just that at an early age, I started recognizing that a lot of the places I had been as an adult, I had seen before. So once I started getting into spirituality, I recognized that I had always astral traveled. I just didn't know what it is. And that's the case for most people. I have a great memory, long-term memory, but I also use neurotropics like DMAE and Chinese moss, which is also known as Hubazine A. So once I recognized that I had always astral traveled, and every place that I had ever been as an adult I had seen prior to that, I realized that I had done this before. So I started reading up on it and started recognizing it and started writing down my experiences. Then I was able to consciously say, if I'm in, like, say I'm dreaming, so-called dreaming, and I recognize stuff, then I'll say mentally, oh, I'm astral trapped. And then when I do that, I start just doing, I just go wild. start flying. I start doing stuff. I start kissing on women. I start doing a lot of stuff. So I mean, it's just a free. It's a free feeling that you had. Like you can accomplish anything. The book Astral Dynamics by Bruce. His name's something Bruce. Robert Bruce is his name. Astral Dynamics. It's a great book. But you can also start to do like reality checks. Once you do reality checks, like during the day, say, hey, look at my hand. Is this my real hand or am I dreaming? You'll start to subconsciously practice that while you're asleep. It becomes easier once you start to learn how to do that. And I hope that answered your question. Calling a spirit with tarot cards. There's a book I just gave out in my group today called Tarot Spells. Let me get the let me see if I can find the author. That's called Tarot Spells. Any book on tarot spells will get you there. Let's see. Files. Okay. Tarot Spells by Janina. Janina Renee. That's a good one. I just gave it out in my group today. So yeah, I would suggest reading up on that first. Tamana, that's a good. You know what? Tamana answered the question earlier about doing substitutes for hell no's. You can use lottery tickets, Monopoly money, right? I've seen people have done that also. S. Alexander just answered the same question. It's about the intent. Like, see, I don't claim to know everything. Only know some things. Let's see. Hell, y'all are on it. Yeah, but I mean, until you, hell, those are cheap though. I get like a bundle of 75 hell notes for less than $5 on eBay. I wish I could find a vendor so that I could sell them on my store, but I've been searching. I can't find a vendor, but maybe in due time. But I also purchased blank Joss paper, JOSS, to write my petitions. So here's an example right here. This is blank Joss paper that I got from eBay. It's the same paper that hell notes are printed on. Same paper. It burns much better than brown paper sacks because that's what I was using. You're absolutely welcome, Tamana. Tamana or Tamana? Tell me if I'm saying it wrong. I just say things according to how they look to me. Asian markets. There's also one online that's based in New York called Asian Wholesale that I buy blank. Let's see if I have an example. I don't have an example right by me, but yeah, it burns. It crackles when it burns. So brown paper sack, I was using that because that's a hoodoo trait to use brown paper sack, but I absolutely hate the way that smells. So it burns. It really burns. This burns very well. So you write your petitions on this, and you go from there. I got a lot of blank joss paper, and it's cheap. It's real cheap. www. How do you know Nataru Harry? Clairaudience. Again, psychic abilities are muscles that you have to just tap into. If you ever have that ringing in your ear, or if you ever hear somebody call your name, you turn around, no one is present, you have that ability. Matter of fact, we all have that ability, but you have to tap into the clairaudient. There's certain spirits that can help you with that. One of my favorite systems to use is the Goetia. 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 Some can help you tap into that innate ability. Both happen Friday. Okay. Yeah. Just to pay attention. As far as books are concerned, like I said, the Goetia is good for, that's why I work with that system, because those spirits are good for helping you to develop your own psychic abilities. Let me see. Look real quick, see if I can suggest a book. Psychic ability. So if I go to came okay. I'm not sure if y'all know who he is. Panic. He suggested this book years ago when I first met him. Cyclomancy, The Secret of Psychic Power Control. That's a good book. I was practicing the exercises and I was getting really good at it. There's another one called Develop Your Psychic Abilities. Once you develop one, though, let me say this. Once you develop one, the other ones start to come forward. But develop your psychic abilities by ain't this a bitch? He does not have an author. I've never seen anything like that. How in the hell do you have a book with no author? What the hell? I've never seen that, y'all. I'm sorry. I don't have a, let me see something. It's called How to Develop Your Own Psychic Abilities to Improve Your Life. It's like, what the fuck? But Cyclomancy is a good book. It's a book that came out in the 70s. Let me see if I have another one. You can also use chaos magic to develop your psychic. Hell, write a sigil, and if you're not inhibited, give your life force to it. By life force, I don't mean blood. Give your life force to it and burn it. Do that. But there's some books out there where you can use sexual magic to develop your psychic energies. Hell, sex magic is very powerful magic. People tend to be so uptight and inhibited that, you know, you say sexual and people just automatically run from it. So master psychology major, 8 clear senses. All right, go with clairaudience is one. Um, Clairvoyance, clairaudience. Will remote viewing be part of that? If electronics stop working around you, this means your energy is high. There was one day my energy was so high, everything I touched shocked me. It was pissing me off because I couldn't touch anything without a shock. So yeah, that's a good thing, actually. Claircognizance, clairaudience, clairsalience, clairtangency, clairsentience. I heard of clairsentience. I've heard of clairaudience. I've not heard of claircognizance. Wow. I didn't know it was that many. Okay. Another thing they tend to hide from us. Remote viewing is kind of fascinating to me. That when you see things and you see people's auras and shit, I stopped doing it actually. I need to pick up that practice again. But again, like I was saying earlier, people want to take shortcuts, and it's like there's so much to learn. This is a tree with many branches to it. There's so much to learn. Anyone who says that they are master, I side eye. I'm like, okay, you've learned it. I'm always studying. I'm always learning. You can remote view. All right. Let me ask you this, Goddess Lula. You how long did it take you to learn that particular skill? Yeah, you would have to be nosy. Um, I started seeing things that I didn't want to see. Oh, you know what? To answer an earlier question, wear copper. Copper it enhances your melanin. Also, this is a good stone. This is a Herkimer diamond for it enhances psychic abilities. Hence the reason I'm wearing it. You remote view, you pick a target, to look at. One of the things that you can practice for remote viewing by Tim Rifat, Rifat. That's a good book. One of the things that you can do is take a magazine, cut out images from it. Cut out images that got like striking colors or anything, maybe 20. Put them in an envelope, cut them out, put them in an envelope, and then shake them up. Practice putting your hand on top of the envelope and seeing how you sense what picture may be on top. That's how I started remote viewing. Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. It sounds like you can dream walk then. You have to excuse me. Um, that's something else that if you can remote view a client. I would never do that though. I tend to be not, I don't like people's energy. Me being a Virgo, I couldn't do it myself. Um, it's just not something that I want to practice on clients. Matter of fact, the crazy clients I got now, I definitely don't want to see anything in their life. You know? So that's not something I would do. It could be beneficial. So like if somebody harmed a family member of yours, to see their location or something, it can be beneficial for that. Huh? Bopping Brady? I'm not understanding your question. By the way I look. All right. So can you clarify that question? I'll answer it the best way I can. Okay, well, Goddess Lula, if they live with a predator, yeah, that's a good example of remote viewing. Um, but it's something that the CIA has employed to spy on other countries, basically. Excuse me for just a second. Let me wipe my eyes. um, what does the way I look have to do with your question? Now, that's a general question. That's a genuine question for you. How I look is, I'm trying to understand. Okay, I get your question now, but as far as, are you talking about attraction, or are you just trying to? I still want to know what the way I look has to do with your question. I can tell you how, but tell me the way I look has to do with your question. Oh, all right. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. The you can take an attraction bath. Um, I usually give this out to female clients. Uh, take take some of your semen and put it in your lotion. Rub your lotion. You can take a bath, put like 5 drops of honey in that, and bathe in rose petals. That's another way. You can use a certain cologne, like Siete Machos, SIETE MACHOS. You can make a talisman to bring women to you. There's just so many ways that you can do that. Unwanted guests from your home. That means basically protecting your home and grounding. You can use iron spikes, railroad spikes, and nail them in your like all around the corners of your house. You can use red brick dust to surround your house, like they did in Skeleton Key. That's to keep shit out. Um, floor washes, floor washes to dispel negative energy. You can use creolin on your floors. CREOLIN. That keeps out bad negative energies, spirits, and people. Important paper. If your question is what I think it is, then again, you can do something simple write your petition paper. I will get approved. I will get approved for whatever. I will get approved. Do it 9 times and then surround it with the same intent. Use oil or use your sexual fluids. You let that dry and then you burn it. This is my email. Right, Tamana is on it today. You're saying okay, but all right. I mean, you can go to a crossroads. You can go to a crossroads and petition Papa Legba. You take 3 pennies and a small little bottle of rum, one of those shot bottles of rum, and speak to him there on a Monday. There's so many things that you can do. I can't give you like one specific thing that's going to work. Most times you're going to have to experiment. You know, sometimes you're going to have to do more than one thing. You know, people sometimes, like I said, shortcuts. People want to do one thing and think it'll work. Well, you should layer magic like you will layer a cake. You see what I'm saying? That way you have a better chance of success. If that makes any kind of sense whatsoever. You know, you can create an altar and petition your ancestors. It's a very simple. Some of the most powerful magics are the most simple ones. It's not always got to be complicated. And a lot of people think the more complex, the more complicated, the better. That's not true, because hoodoo is very simple. Anybody can do it. Spiritual baths, very good for road opening. To go back to Nadaru's question, spiritual baths or road opening baths. The bath that I always give out to cleanse your aura, to draw in things to you. I'm gonna get this out for free right now. This is a bath that you should take only once every other month, because the ingredients in it will clear out everything good and bad. But it's good for cleansing your aura. When your aura is dirty, it's got a lot of spiritual sludge, things tend to be stagnant. But here's the bath. And it's a bath that I cannot get credit for, but I've given to clients. And the results are astounding. I got this bath from Bobby Hemmett. It's not my bath. I didn't create it. I got it from Bobby Hemmett, watching one of his lectures. So it's a half a cup of sea salt, 3 caps lemon juice, 3 caps vinegar, 3 caps bleach, 3 caps ammonia. You soak in this concoction for at least 15 minutes. You have a white candle burning during the entire time, and you make sure you get your whole head in there. At least 15 minutes. I tell people to do it longer. Once you do that, you get out of the tub and you shower off real good. And that is that bath. Like I said, I do not take credit for that. That bath came from Bobby Hemmett when he gave his London lecture, and he gave out just that whole 3-hour lecture was nothing but rituals that he gave out. Gargoyles. I have a big ass gargoyle in front of my house. I'm a big fan of gargoyles. That's very protective energy. The gargoyle that I have cost me $80 at Home Depot. But it's out right now, and I usually put it out during the Samhain or Halloween. I have smaller gargoyles that stay out year long, but the big one comes out during Samhain. I love gargoyles. I'm a big fan of that protective energy. I've used that bath still. I got that bath from Bobby Hemmett, I want to say 2008, and I still use it. Yes, I use that bath. I also use other baths though. I experiment. Sometimes I'll take a complete rue bath, R-U-E, rue. Um, rue is good. It's protective and is good if you feel like you've been hexed. Or I'll take a bath in Florida water, orange blossom water, and what I just got the other day, Hoyt's cologne maybe. I make my own spiritual bath based on the qualities of the waters that I'm using and the herbs that I'm using. Yes, that. Thank you, TP. If you, I think I know who you are, but yes, the bath works. I had a guy that was a good close friend of mine who was really feeling depressed, and he said one day he just sat down and he cried because everything was going on in his life. I gave him the bath, and he couldn't thank me enough after he took that bath. I even gave him the ingredients. The bath works. So yeah, let's say it again. Half cup of sea salt, 3 caps of lemon juice, 3 caps vinegar, 3 caps ammonia, 3 caps bleach. Burning the entire time. Get in, you soak in that bath. I usually listen to some kind of meditation music or India, or I'll listen to mantras, and I get out, shower off real good. You good to go. Only take that bath once every other month. I had a client who, oh yeah, I'm taking that bath every month. I'm like, no wonder you going through all that shit. I said, I think the ingredient that removes everything is ammonia. Will a small gargoyles go? If you mean small gargoyle, they'll do the same thing as a big gargoyle. Yeah, it's just that people can see them a lot better than the small. But the small gargoyles I got from Amazon, maybe $30. Rosewater, rosewater bath is good. Is a good another good attraction. Anything rose oil, rose water. If you're trying to attract somebody, that's very good. Also, I've given this out to single women. If you're single, you're trying to attract a man, during your menstrual, you wear red panties, red bra, and you take that bath and you wear red underneath. I guarantee you're gonna attract somebody. It's a good attraction tool. Yeah, I thought that was you. T, brother T. Yeah, I thought that was you. I thought I recognized the name. Okay. All right, good to see you, bro. Well, thank you. This was my first ever live question and answer session, and it's a good practice for me too because I'm having to answer the questions right away. So, in your apartment, I will put it. You know how people who use and work with Ishu, they put their cement head right by the door. That's why I would put my gargoyle. If I'm in an apartment, I would put it right by the door, by the entrance. Not so where it's going to block anything, but right inside the entrance. Okay, Sister T. Okay, all right. TP, give me a hint, please. Um, I think let me see something. Now you're gonna have me look. T. You're very welcome. Well, Goddess Lula, you can put both of them there. What's stopping you from putting both of them there? I'm still looking. Uh, Speaking of the Astral Travel Herbal Mix, Sister T, how's that working for you? Oh, the Astral Travel Mix is always on sale. It's one price all the time. I think that's a fair price for it, especially the herbs that I gotta buy. And one of those herbs come from Africa, to be more specific. So yeah, I have to have it shipped to me. So it's a fair price for that. If y'all remember, if you look at Shira Star Goddess, my sister, she gave me a good review on it. She said she was astral traveling all night. As a matter of fact, I haven't had a bad review yet. Purple mix. Oh, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. But like I said, it's one price, and I have not had a bad review yet on the Astral Travel Herbal Mix. As a matter of fact, sometimes what I do, if I have a surplus of it, I will use a coffee blender and I crush it up. I blend it up real good, and I put it in capsules, because one of the ingredients is really nasty to me, and but it does its job. It's like known as the Astral Travel Herb, but it's called the Dream Herb. But I make my own capsules and I put it to the side so that I can ingest it that way. Yeah, Ashira Star Goddess is one of the first people. I actually gave it to her. Me and her exchange things sometimes. I gave it to her to give it a try, and she said it works. So years of experiencing astral travel and using various herbs allowed me to blend that mix, just the right herbs to put in that to allow y'all to start astral traveling. You saw three witches flying around, what, on broomsticks, or huh? Wait, what? um, Witches get a bad rap from Christianity. A witch is not going to want to hurt you for no reason at all. Matter of fact, Ashir Stargard is a witch. She's one of the most pleasant and beautiful souls I've ever met. I know plenty of witches. Nobody's going to harm you for no reason at all. You know what I'm saying? If you want to take precautions, if you want to take precautions to protect, you should always protect yourself. Always stay protected. Like Ice Cube said in Lottery Ticket, he said, you always protect yourself. I'm using that, that's a bad example, but I always protect myself. I always got herbs on me. Not herbs, crystals. Like this stays near me. Here, I use an amethyst cluster that stays near. See, I'm in my office, so I'm in my sacred place right here. I use lapis lazuli. Is a spirit good. It's one of the best spiritual protections out there. And keep your crystals charged. You can use Florida water, orange blossom water, Kananga water. One of my favorite. I use that actually as a cologne sometimes. Um, but like I said, anybody that's going to be a witch, that's nobody's going to attack you like that for no reason at all. I wasn't, my humor comes off as I don't try to be funny. I just say stuff that's on my mind. I'm a Virgo and I'm blunt. Um, I know she didn't mean flying around on broomsticks. No offense meant there, but when you say flying around, I'm like, okay. I see some strange shit myself, so that's. I mean, I was just watching Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters just yesterday with my wife, and I'm like, the way they portray witches is just like, that's Hollywood shit. I mean, most witches look like you and I. You're not gonna know. I mean, would you consider a Share Star goddess a threat some kind of way? That's my sister. I love her to death. I mean, that's what witches look like. That depends on you. I know people who have put altars in their closets to work from, especially if you are trying to hide it from somebody. The amount of altars, I would stick with one if you're a beginner to learn how to work with an altar. I wouldn't have so many altars. I got a lot of altars in my house, well, in my ritual space, because I use them for different purposes. But if you need a closet space to use your altar, I would just use that as a general altar and use that and branch out from there when you have the space to have more altars. I have the space. I got one here and I got like 5 altars in my ritual space. Again, I use them for different purposes though. Yo, Baba Lowo, he just said cool. He didn't give you no advice. He didn't say anything. Selenite is very good. Carnelian's good. Okay, yeah, but until you can branch out, if you have to have your altar in your closet, then I would suggest using that one as a general altar until you can get the space to branch out. Laughter good for the soul. Yeah, I'm pretty silly. I'm a silly ass dude. I mean, I'm serious most of the time, and my son's friends see me as being a serious dad all the time, but I'm really goofy as hell. Especially when I was working with the Geddes in Papa Legba. I mean, could you take on that energy? And I was sillier than ever. But laughter is good. Anger is good too, but laughter is real good. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm looking at my phone right now. If you got questions, just post them. Okay, so Goddess Lula, he didn't say anything. He didn't give you any advice. He didn't look at you like you were crazy, or he just said, okay, cool. My born day is the 16th of September. I just celebrated a birthday last month. Had a party. Um, wow, really? Thank you, Nataru. Thank you very much. I try to be Earth sign. Well, if everybody moved out, that tells me that if you put your altar in your living room and people moved out, that tells me that the people in your house were negative people. Or there's such a Christian mindset that that kind of stuff scared them, which it usually does. Witches come and feed off babies. That's nonsense. That's the same shit they say about Lilith. That's not, I'm sorry, I'm not disrespecting your Baba Lawu, but that's nonsense. They feed off, that's bullshit. You know, because if you want to give me one of your title, I'm going to call myself a witch also. I go by many names: witch, sorcerer, magician, occultist, spiritualist. Witch is in there also. Witch means wise one. They feed off dead babies. Yeah, whatever. Sorry, but I don't like I don't like answers like that. Saturn's energy is for banishing. It's the black planet. Saturn was our first sun, actually. So when you work with Saturn energy, you can use it to banish negative energy, people, situations from yourself. Use the color black, and that is how I use Saturn energy. You can also use Saturn's energy. You can use it in a Saturn hour. You don't have to wait till Saturday to use the energy. You can use it in the Saturn hour. You get a planetary app that can tell you what hour is Saturn. I just got online to chat, and this might be a silly question. No question is silly. How do you know if you're a light worker or a dark worker? Light workers tend to want to work with light energies. Dark workers want to work with demons and, you know, the bad shit. The bad shit that you hear about voodoo and, you know, clip off, Goetia, the daemons. They tend to want to work with that. But to be a complete magician, occultist, in my opinion, you gotta have a balance of both. How can you know how to work with light energy? How can you know how to heal something if you don't know how to hex something also? Oh, the beginning of your journey. Okay, all right, I got you. But feeding off dead babies, witches, yeah, right. That ain't gonna serve no goddamn purpose. It could be whoever you want to, but I will work first with your ancestors for them to clear the way. That's one of the first things I did is I started working with my ancestors. I wrote down all the deceased ancestors that I knew of and their favorite things and pictures of their favorite things. I use white. I use white flowers. I used the ancestor ritual. I'm trying to think if I still had that ritual. I used a particular ritual, and I worked with that one for about a week before I started working with other stuff. You can work on the altar whoever you're drawn to. It's not. It's who you're drawn to and who you feel comfortable with. You gotta work with energies that you're comfortable with first before you branch out into more well-known energies. Yo, what's up? The Dark Lord is in the building. That's my brother, Dark Lord from the royal bloodline. Okay. All right, we got some people up in here. We do go way back. We go way back. So um, we are always building. We always trade secrets, pretty much. Uh, that's what's up. Glad to see you here, bro. It was a serious question. I'm trying to get a serious answer, but it's far out. Goddess Lula, if you're still asking about dead babies, which is all right, always protect yourself. Like I said, that's a bunch of Christian bullshit. Which is one eat dead baby. What purpose would you get out of that? I mean, that's just common sense. And I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm not trying to belittle you. I'm seriously trying to answer your question. But eating dead baby, that got to be the most hideous, disgusting thing I ever heard of. You don't get more powerful doing that. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were still asking. Yeah. Always honor your ancestors. Your ancestors will lead the way. They'll guide you. Like I said, when I started out years ago, I was using my ancestor altar a lot. You know, just asking simple things, giving them offerings every day, giving them water, refreshing water and fruit. It was a ritual that somebody gave to me that I was doing all the time. And I did it for at least a week, you know, but after that, I kept the altar, but then I started doing other stuff. Okay, Goddess Lula, I got you. I hope I answered your question, though. I'm not sure if I answered your question, but I hope I answered your question. That's not a problem. Recharging yourself. Sometimes you take a break. Take a break. Ground yourself. I use some of the more unconventional ways to ground myself. Like I'll go eat some fast food. You know, just the other day, I was doing magic work all day long. So for myself and for clients. So what I did, I went and got me some, what was it? It was Red Robin, some greasy food. I smoked a cigarette. I lay down and watched something silly. You know, I just got my mind off of it. But like I said, I do unconventional shit all the time. But to recharge myself, I'll take a spiritual bath. You know, I'll go talk to my wife about something really mundane that I have no interest in, like politics. It's just, or I walk outside barefoot, you know, connecting myself to Mother Earth to ground myself. But that drain is serious. If you do a whole lot of magical work, even if you just read tarot for somebody and you're trying to answer questions, that can be draining, but you do need to keep your energy up. Low energy, I do not suggest doing magical work when you have a low energy. I'd like to, when you're very cognizant and your energy is high and you got a lot of energy, drink a lot of water. Then do that. You can do some of the ways that I stated, but that's what I do. You know, I also, like when I'm doing sessions like this, I keep my Himalayan salt lamp lit. Keep the vibrations in my office space very high. All right. So now I'm like Bobby Hemming. Give me some questions. Or y'all gonna have me do divination here. Oops, excuse me. Okay. I've been doing, let's see. Oh, you know what? Somebody asked me earlier. I think it was you. My favorite tarot deck is the New Orleans Voodoo deck. It has to be the most spirit-driven deck there is. It's very accurate. I use it a lot. As you can see, how it leans. It's no longer straight. Yeah, this one says a lot when I use it. But I got the Thoth deck. I got the Voyager deck, which is one of the most visually stunning tarot decks. If y'all just give me a second, I'll grab it real quick because it's sitting right here. All right, the Voyager deck. This is one of the most unique decks I've ever come across. I mean, look at y'all see that? Look at the images on this deck. And the thing with this though is that the cards are so big, I have to shuffle these a totally different way. I just love the images on this deck. I got turned on this deck. I'm not sure if y'all know who he is. He's called Azazel Bey. He was doing a lecture on Tituba, and the Black Witch of Salem. He was doing a lecture on Tituba, and he was using this deck. He was using a tarot deck to do rituals in the graveyard. But look at these images, y'all. No book came with it. No book came with it. I don't think it. I'm not sure. I no longer use books, but I'm just showing y'all some of the images here, and I'm like, wow. Even now, I still get fascinated. Look at the Death card. This is the Death card. Success card. It has all the goddamn planners on it. A good website is darkbooks.org, I think. I think it's darkbooks.org. Here's the Hanged Man card. Look at that. Child of Cups. Look at that. I get asked that question a lot. Do what feels right to you, but it is the day. Halloween is the day where you're supposed to answer. Honor your ancestors. That is the day. That is the day when the veil is the thinnest between the world. It is the day to honor the answer. Deities plus the answer. I do a lot. I put out a feast. I actually cook food. I do all of that during that day. But do what feels right to you. Put razors in me. Please, y'all. And I didn't say put no razors, no fucking candy, but yeah, right. How do you prevent spells from backfiring? It depends on what kind of spell that you are doing. What do you mean backfiring? Like, people had this fear about a backlash or a backfire. Like, I'm assuming you mean a hexing spell. That's usually what that means. That comes from Wicca. What you throw out will come back times 3 is some bullshit to keep you in fear of using your own power. Pretty much. But you can always, after you take or do whatever you need to do, take a cleansing bath, or either wash your hands in cold water, or you can smudge yourself. But like I said, this is a Wiccan concept. Now you gotta think, Wiccans is it's white people magic. That's what that's what it is, and they dumb down everything so that you can't tap into your own power. I never fear anything backfiring, because if I'm gonna put a spell on somebody, you gave me a reason. You earned that shit. If I get to the point where I gotta perform magic, yeah, you earned that. Because a Virgo will take a whole lot of shit until they get fed up with it. Like, okay, all right, I'm done playing with you. Karma, another dumbing down, fear mongering tool. That karma is not what people think it is. Karma is what you take from lifetime to lifetime. It's not, oh, I hit you, somebody else is gonna hit me. That's not how it works. Karma is something else completely different. Is stuff that you build up in a lifetime in your different incarnations. So if you don't clear karma this lifetime, you may suffer for it in your next lifetime. It has nothing to do with what goes around comes around. That's more bullshit. Right. Goddess Lula explained it perfectly. You study, you prepare, be as accurate as possible, very specific. Very specific on your intentions. Somebody asked me earlier about developing spiritual senses. I do have a chant here. If you want me to type it, I will, but I'm going to say it. You say this chant 47 times a day, and it develops your spiritual senses. And I think it develops all of your spiritual senses. Right. You also, yeah, you have to have respect for the magical work. You have to have respect for the deities that you work with. Be humble, be respectful. Know that this can fuck up somebody else's life. Just be respectful. And some people go into it all nilly-willy and, you know, real ignorant, and some people will get fucked up that way. Develop spiritual senses. You say this 47 times a day. The language is Arabic. It's Wa Shuba Allah Kopi Sia Abiba Romatina Bihikmati Malak Nala Adhimi Fantokat. Did y'all get that? Dark Lordism is in the chat right now, so you can ask him. Hey, he did the lecture on the Baron. I didn't. So you can ask him. The chant, yeah, I can do the chant. Luckily, I can type fast. Yeah, I saw part of Dark Lord's Baron. I didn't get to the rest of it yet. So I can't, I can't explain that. He can explain it. So I'm not brushing you off or anything like that. But I think a better source to ask would be him, since he did the lecture. I didn't get to all of it. I got distracted by clients this weekend, but I'm going to get to the rest of it. I saw most of it, but again, Dragon, I'm not blowing you off, but I would ask him that question. He's in the chat right now, so I'm sure he'll be willing to answer you. I'm not sure if these lectures or events, if these events are like, if you can replay them. Am I being funny? I'm sorry. I ain't mean to be. Virgos tend not to be funny, but just people find it funny. I'm gonna say the chat one more time for those people in the back. Washuba Allah, Kopi, Sia Abiba, Romatina, Bihikmati, Malaknal Adhimi, Fantukat. No problem, Dragon. I'm not, honestly, I'm really not trying to blow you off, but he did that lecture. I would be remiss in giving you wrong information from what I understand the Baron, what he did the lecture on. I wouldn't, that's my brother, and I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, we Virgos tend to be the shit. I got some other ones. If the guy who asked me is still in the chat, make yourself known. I'll give you a chance. Just because I'm trying to be helpful today. So Tamana, the live lecture, this live event, I can give to my group members. Is this correct? Do you know? So assuming that guy that, all right. Thank you, Tamana. Thank you. So I got the guy who wanted the hose. I guess he's not here anymore. Yes, we do make it happen. I'm about to end this. I've been at this for a minute. I gotta go to the bathroom. It looks like y'all out of questions. I will do this again though. I'll do this again pretty soon. As a matter of fact, I'll probably do it later this week. I believe I can. I believe I'm going to make this available. I've been on chat an hour and a half now. I believe you can. I believe you can see it from the beginning though. It's gonna. I believe that when we go live, it still stays there. So you should be able. Yeah, I've been here 2 hours. Thanks, Tamana. That really made me laugh. Pimp down. He didn't want no hoes. I could give him a chat. I actually thought about it just now. I was like, oh, wait, you know what? There's a chant that I gave out, that before you leave the house, you say the chant 3 times before you walk out the door, and it's to everybody give you a second look. So everybody that I've given this chant to had great success with it. Sometimes I do it just to see. It's called an attraction chant. I can't find it. Ain't this a bitch? I thought so. Yeah, I did the live interview with Dark Lordism and a Share Star Goddess, and people were able to just go on my channel and look at it from the beginning. You're very welcome, Akila. Anytime that I can help, I will be willing to help. But y'all always are welcome to ask me questions on Facebook. Find me on Facebook and ask to be added to my group. Thank you so much for allowing me to spend this 2 hours with you and make this live question and answer session memorable. I do appreciate it. I will be back to answer your questions. Namaste, brothers and sisters. Thanks again for chatting. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.